Good morning and welcome to the Coach in Your Corner. Coach in Your Corner. I think that's what I'm going to call the channel. This is Coach Shaun. I'm Coach Shaun, and I am a college rugby coach here in the state of Pennsylvania, USA. And at the moment, we're on kind of break, summer break. So the season ends in the middle of April roundabout, and that's when it's like 2 weeks before everybody breaks for the summer break, and off they go. And I see everybody again end of August. So in this time, I've kind of got some time to myself, and I thought, well, you know what? I've been trying to do this, or been thinking about doing this, for maybe a good 6 months, 9 months already. 9 months about, yeah. And I wanted to just jump on and begin talking about some of the things that I've discovered, over the years, over the 60 odd years that I've been around. I've been taking a couple of knocks over the years, and I've had to learn some things. I never walk away from a problem or a challenge. I never walk away from loss or failure or a situation that just doesn't work out. I never walk away blaming everybody. You want to, but I never walk away just mumbling and grumbling under my breath. I kind of sit down and take stock of what's actually transpired, what happened, and how could I have done differently? What can I learn out of that I can teach others? And as a dad of three sons who are all now, grown up, and my wife and I have some grandchildren, and so over the years I've often sat down and we talked through some life lessons. I believe that as a dad, as a grandfather, one of the things that life principles to me is that you experience it not in a devotional time, like sitting down at the breakfast table and walking away. Those things are important, but my wife, she said to me one day, why don't you sit and do, morning devotions with the boys? I said, you know what? I don't teach like that. I believe that life lessons are taught in the process of life. I observe, I learn, and I share. And I kind of felt like, the coach's corner, or the coach in your corner rather. Coach in your corner is, for me, is just coming and sitting in your corner, on your side of the table, if you may, in your corner, having somebody, boxers have a coach in their corner that then begins to help them through the game. And I wish I had somebody like that for me. There were the odd older person in my life that was there at different seasons of my life that I could really bounce things off, process things with, and talk things through. But growing up, going through my 20s and 30s, I didn't have that. Only later in life I discovered people or men that were prepared to talk with me or listen to me and not judge me, not try and pull me into some frame of reference that they had, some label they had that I had to fit into. I don't comply easily with others' expectations of me. And but yeah, so I met these older men later, and they became a real source of guidance for me. And just many times you're not looking for somebody to have all the answers, because everybody's journey is different. But sometimes you just need somebody to give you or listen to you, somebody that can mirror back to you, some of the life principles and just some things that they've learned in life. I said to one leader, I said one day, I really believe you need to get leaders from the city together and just get them in a room and tell about your experience. Tell them about the things that you've encountered and how you overcame it. Just be transparent. The mistakes you made, we learn from those things. We learn from the mistakes, etc. And he kind of didn't want to do that. So I decided that I want to be to others what nobody was to me when growing up, and so this is my approach, and that was how I came across this channel. And at first I didn't know how to do this because I don't have my iPhone is kind of like out of Noah's Ark. I think it it didn't even come out in a pair. It was just oh yeah, my wife's got the same model, so yeah, it did come out as in a pair, but it's like old, it's ancient, so the sound and the video quality I don't think would be so good. So I kind of shelved that as an idea, and I didn't know what I was going to do. But then what I did was I discovered stickmen, and I started. So I wanted to, I thought I would just encourage older people and motivate older people, and just to not give up and to be something I'm going to bring up now with you, but yeah, and it turned out, so I started doing stick figures, and it took me a while to figure out, hey, I'm in my 60s, technology takes a while, so I worked at it, and I just didn't give up. I would walk away from my desk here just frustrated because I couldn't get it right, and I didn't know what to do, and I was doing searches and whatever else, but I'm trying to coach rugby in between all of that. So this was like in January, and I would walk, but I'd come back and try again and try again and try again, and finally I got it right. But what didn't work was long form in stick figures for me. But puns worked, so I started doing just age-related puns, just laughing at life, laughing at being old. When you get older, things happen, and some things more than others. And I just thought, well, this is funny. I have a good laugh at old people's puns and humor, so I started turning it into little shorts, YouTube shorts videos. And so that's what I do in the mornings. First thing, I get up and I have a pun in mind, and I kind of put stick figures to these puns and put some sounds with it, and just have a good laugh and sticking it out there. And initially it started slow, but now it's doing, not hilariously, I don't have millions of views, but I've definitely overcome the hundreds into the thousands. So I'm happy with that. And I started a merch store to do some mugs and a couple of t-shirts and things. Nothing's happened yet, but hey, you know what? If you don't start, if you don't get up and move, then nothing happens, just nothing happens. So in this time, I thought, well, I found my old podcasting mic. I did podcasts for a couple of years, and I found the mic, and I thought, okay, I'm going to stick that up. I'm going to stick up an old webcam that I have, and it actually, I mean, it's, you're on that side, so you're watching it, so you probably see, oh, wait a minute, this is ancient, but hey, it works for now. It gets me on to doing and talking to you, and that's basically the idea. So I say all of that because one of the things that I think we need to really understand is that resilience is going to be a quality, a characteristic, something that's part of your character. And the more resilient you are, the more longevity there will be in what you do. Because no successful person ever does not experience, I don't know if that's a good grammar, but no successful person has ever not encountered failure. And you learn from the failures. You learn from the times that you get knocked down. When people knock you down, when life knocks you down, experiences knock you down, and and the last video I was talking about adaptability, how we've got to make a shift. But another characteristic that I think is critical is resilience. Starting this past rugby season, which started last year, August, and our first game, our first tournament was, everybody was new. I didn't have a lot of time to actually really get the fundamentals embedded. So we went out, and it was a horrible tournament. It was, I mean, teams that previously our team had beaten, now we were just being succumbed to them. we were being humbled on the field, and I didn't bother about it when they came off the field and everybody was frustrated. I just said to the team, hey, calm down. Just calm down and see this as a learning curve. You're getting to see what the game is about. You're getting to experience it. We'll take the strengths and weaknesses of what we see here, and we'll build on that. So don't stress. But there was one player that had played 2 seasons already with me. I think it was 2 seasons. But in the last season, he had, so not this past season, the previous season, he had in fact hurt himself in a rugby tackle. Now you understand is in rugby, we don't have pads and things like that. And the tackling is not a hit. It's a technique that we teach over and over, a defensive technique on how to tackle somebody so that you don't get hurt and the person doesn't get hurt. But as in anything, when there's a clash of bodies, things happen at times. And so this player is not a big bold player. He's a small player, and he had tackled somebody and hurt his shoulder. So when we got to last season in this first tournament, he now runs onto the field as part of the team, does his first tackle, but he's afraid. And he suddenly has a flashback of what happened in the injury in the previous season. So straight away he walks off the field to me and he says, I need a substitute because, I don't think I can do this. And up until I was watching him, and I saw that he was kind of standing away from actually doing what it was necessary for defense, which was tackling the opposition. And so I kind of expected that to happen, and that's what he did. But he stood alongside the field, and he was rubbing his shoulder a little bit and he must have been pondering this. But halfway or 3/4 way through the game, he came back to me and he said, Coach, put me on. I'm ready. I said, are you sure? And he said, I'm ready, Coach. I'm ready for this. And I said, okay, you're on. And swapped him out with somebody. He substituted somebody. He ran onto the field, and it was a different player. It was a totally different player. And, in the process, I thought about it. And he went on to be one of the star players through this whole past season. Just a star player. Excellent tackling, excellent thinking on the field, game intelligence, just excellent defense, attack, just incredible. He took on the biggest guys that were on the field at times. And I was so proud of him because I thought, he went from, injury to failure nearly, but his resilience brought him back. And just a Google quote for resilience, or definition for resilience, is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. Another word is toughness. So to spring back to spring back into place. I kind of think of resilience like this. Resilience isn't toughness without tears. It's the quiet strength to rise again, anchored in purpose and rooted in hope. And again, I've mentioned this, and you'll probably hear this a number of times in the videos, just some of the things that I've had to go through, some of my life stories, and just some of the things that have knocked me down, some of the failures I've had, some of the losses I've had. But the one thing that's kept giving me longevity, that I'm still here and still trying new things. I don't give up. If I set my mind to something, I might get knocked back, but I'm going to come and I'm going to try again. I'm going to try and make that stick figure YouTube channel work. And it's now on TikTok, and it's on Instagram, and it's on Facebook, and on YouTube. YouTube is my focus, but I just thought, well, you know what? I'm going to try everything. I'm going to put it out there and see what happens. Because I'm not going to give up. I'm busy putting a book together on stick figure jokes that I'm going to stick in Amazon, and so all these, it's like I'm going to try it. I'm going to bounce back. I'm not going to give up because I was knocked down. I had to have surgery last year. I think I mentioned it. I had to have 3 surgeries. I had a back surgery, both hands, carpal tunnel, and it really knocked me down. I had to give up my other job that I was doing and just focus on rugby. Even though I carry a chair around on the field, and the guys are very helpful. They carry the chair for me and ask me if I'm okay, and they come to me. I don't run around, and so they're helping me adapt to that situation. But I come back. I'm back in training again. The physio gives me something. I do double the amount. I work hard at getting back. On this, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try. I'm going to try the first one. It's probably terrible. They say nobody watches your first 10 videos on YouTube. So that's fine by me, as I will not to worry too much about it. So I'm just going to keep coming back. I'm going to do it with maybe in tears, and I've had to. I've had to walk down the road with just enough money in my pocket to buy my family a loaf of bread, and we had no food in the house. But I wasn't prepared. I was in tears, but I never lost purpose, and I never lost hope. I always keep my expectation high. I focus on something. It might not be the right thing, but in the sense of right for me, it might not be my destiny, but I've got to focus on something to keep my hope up, to get me up in the morning, to be resilient. And that player, he kind of got off the field, gave up, but quietly stood there and resolved within his own mind, I can do this. And I believed that, and I said to him, he said to me, I can do this, coach. And I said, I believe you. I know you can. All the time I've known you can. Get out there and show them that you can do it. And he was resilient. He was tough, even in the tears. Just a quiet strength. There was no fanfare about it. I think at the end of the season, we could acknowledge the tremendous advances he made in his play over this past season. Just incredible. And I would say nearly just about every tournament he would be man of the tournament. Don't tell the other players that, but I think he just played and diligently every game. He was on whole games when others were substituting. He just stayed with it the whole time. And that's toughness, even with tears, even in pain, getting up after every tackle. It could have put his shoulder out every single time, but he kept up, he did it again, got up again, faced it again, and just stayed tough even when The fear was, anxiety, stress was lurking. He stood up again and faced it again. And so, what we've got to realize is that things come to test you, not just in your willingness or in your mind and your will and your emotions, but things come to test the spirit of man, come to test you in the depths of who you are. And that's when you need to be somebody that is resilient. Even when you lose everything, lose your house, lose your car, lose all the money, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give up? Are you going to quit? Or are you going to stand up again and say, you know what? I'm going to make another way. I'm going to find another way. And the thing about resilience is it's not always celebrated like a huge thing. Many times it's just quiet, all by yourself. You make the decision and you keep moving. People don't understand. People don't understand the pain, the emotional stress. They don't understand, or they don't maybe not know that you lay awake at night thinking, how am I going to do this? But you get up in the morning and people are counting on you. People need to be inspired or watching you. I always think that my kids are watching me. If I give up, they lose hope. If I give up, then when they face a difficulty, what are they going to say? And I say, you know what? I'm not the greatest champion in the world, but I'm going to get up every single time I get knocked down. And they're going to go, that's my dad. He didn't give up. He never quit. He pushed through every time. He had times when everything got quiet and times when he just withdrew, but he came back. And that's the kind of man I want to be. Just always, just never giving up. Oh, do I feel like it? Oh, many days, many nights I've laid in bed and going, what are you going to do now? I don't know. I just feel like giving up. I don't feel like getting up tomorrow morning. I want to crawl under my blankets and stay there. And I don't want to get up. I don't want to face the day. I don't want to be somebody's inspiration. I don't want to try again, but I do, because I know that my children and my grandchildren, my wife needs me to get up and try again. And it doesn't work. Just so my book, even yesterday I was going to launch the book, and suddenly I just looked at it and I thought, you know what? I'm not happy. Something about it, I'm not happy. And so I went back to ChatGPT and Perplexity AI and a friend of mine, and popped it out there, and I stuck it on Facebook and said, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about a shift like this? What do I need to change? Won't it resonate better with this audience than trying with that audience? And so I sat here, and so it took me a couple of hours and still not finished, but I'm repurposing the original manuscript and the original cover and things like that. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you've got to just get up sometimes and go, okay, I'm not going to allow this to get me down. I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to have resolve. I'm going to set myself to finish the task, and when I get pushed down, I'm going to come up again. The one thing they'll never say about me is he quit. I never want to quit. I never want to arrive at the grave saying I quit. or them to say at my gravesite, is like, here's Coach Shaun and he quit. Never. I never want to be a quitter. I'm going to find another way. And the thing about it is, in that quiet place, there's somebody always there with you. And the Lord is with the resilient. He's with those that don't give up. There's quiet. He gives you strength even when you're weak. And this is what you've got to know. This, you see, this is something you have to build into your character. It doesn't come from a book. It doesn't even come from a video. I'm just highlighting the fact, but this comes from your resolve to be somebody of resilient character, somebody who can be tough even in tears. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. So thanks for hanging with me. This is Coach Shaun in your corner. Till next time. Cheers.